Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Zojalix, or you can call me Alex. I am a esports freelance shoutcaster. Welcome to our XDefiant map tier list video. I'm going to be going through. These are going to be just based on the preseason maps. There's not going to be anything on the season 1 maps yet because I haven't played Clubhouse enough to be able to come up with like an actual definitive answer for what I believe the best where Clubhouse kind of follows. So, and this might change as season 1 progresses, but we're just going to go based on what I have been able to play already. For those who don't know who I am a esports caster, primarily focused on FPS games, and I am wanting to get started on some XDefiant. I've been playing the game since launch, and I have absolutely loved the game and everything that has come from XDefiant. So here I am. I want to share my love of the game with you guys and just continue to make other various esports and FPS-based content. I know there's a lot of FPS content creators out there, but I just want to share my passion with the games that I love with you guys. I will be live on Twitch and on YouTube. I've been debating about going live on Facebook. I don't know yet, but you can see all of my socials listed down below at the bottom area of this video here, as well as it will all be linked in the description. So make sure you guys follow all of them, so that way you guys can stay up to date on everything. I am also trying to work on the process of figuring out how to go live on TikTok, so that way I can go live on TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff, and then you guys can watch all of the shenanigans that will come from joining us here on the journey of Zojalix, the esports shoutcaster. Either way, we are going to be getting started with our map tier list here. Starting off, we are going to be having Arena. Now, Arena is... honestly, I love it. I think the aesthetics are super cool. I think there's a lot of... for as tight and compact as a map that it is, there's so many different ways that you can use there's so many different layers to it. It almost kind of reminds me of High Rise in MW3, but only if like High Rise was like good and didn't have the propane and stuff like that, where it's a nice, tight, compact map, but you still feel like you have a lot of areas that you can move around within the map. My only kind of gripe with Arena is, granted, I haven't seen it in ranked, so I can't say for sure on how it will go in a 4v4 situation. But because of in pubs, it's so tight and compact that it just ends up being so chaotic that it actually ends up becoming pretty hard to play like a good game of Heart of Occupy on it. Either way, though, I still think it is a fantastic map. For a ranked standpoint, I think it goes right up there in the S tier map. I really like it. I think it is going to be I think it would make a fantastic domination and occupy map, but I haven't seen it in ranked. I don't even know if it's in the ranked rotation. But either way, I think it's a fantastic map. I love it. Up next, we've got Attica Heights. Attica Heights is another good pub map. I don't think this is a good ranked map, however. Mainly because in a lot of the ways that Arena is super small and compact, Attica Heights is just freaking massive. There are just so many different areas that you can move around, and I feel like it would be in a rank/competitive format. It would be a map that'd be really, really easy to get lost in, especially in like domination. I feel like there'd be easy ways to move around and just avoid taking fights, which would make it kind of a very boring map. Because you can slink around underneath, you've got all the side areas, you can just rush through mid over by the drop hole in the middle of the map. I don't actually remember what the exact call out is for it. But either way, I do enjoy it. I don't think it makes a good ranked map, and because it's kind of a super rough ranked map, I am going to be putting it in C tier. I'm sure y'all are going to come at me for that. I don't care. Again, I don't care. I think, yeah. All right, we're going to leave it at that. Dumbo is the next map. Dumbo is the perfect pub map. The perfect pub map. For 6, I think it's 6v6 in pubs, or 8s. I don't actually remember. But either way, In pubs, it is goated. It has so many different areas to move around. You're not stuck in any area. There's a lot of different angles you can play from. The destroyed cars and stuff make great cover. I think that really helps to aid in how good of a map Dumbo is. But it kind of falls into the same problem with Attica Heights, where if you were to be playing it in a 4v4 competitive format, it would not work for you. There would just be it'd be too much. There'd be too much map. I think in like an Occupy it might work fine, and maybe it might make a good like capture the flag map. I don't know if Ubisoft has said anything about whether or not they're thinking about making capture the flag in ranked. I honestly think I would rather see CTF over domination. I don't personally enjoy domination as a game mode, but that is another conversation for another time. But Dumbo, other than that, I mean, it's a pretty great map. I think I enjoy it more than Attica Heights. So I'm going to put Dumbo in B tier. Echelon. Up next, we have Echelon HQ. Echelon HQ, fantastic map. I know I'm saying this a lot. Trust me, there are maps on here that I do not enjoy. We will get to those. Don't worry. Echelon HQ is another great map. I love it. I love how tight and compact it is. I love how the map works in domination as well as in Occupy. I think it really shines in pubs and TDM. I think it works really great for team deathmatch. Oddly enough, I haven't played Capture the Flag yet. But I really enjoy just everything that Echelon HQ has to offer. I don't know how it would feel in a ranked format. I would love to see it in a competitive setting, like in a 4v4. I don't know. Obviously there's not custom lobbies, so we haven't seen a lot of competitive aspects of the game yet. But I think for a great competitive format, I would love to see Echelon HQ show up. I'm gonna give it an A tier map. I think you could argue for Echelon HQ to be an S tier. You probably could argue for it to be an S tier, but yeah, I think it's for sure A tier. Up next, we've got Emporium. Emporium, I'm sorry. I know y'all are going to come at me for this one. Emporium is an F tier map. I hate this map. And here's why. I don't know if it's in this specific rotation. I'm pretty sure the P1 is always the same in Occupy. But P1 on Emporium specifically is like right at the very edge. And that hill is just so... Like, every single hill in Emporium, honestly, is so hard to break except for the hill that's outside by the destroyed cars. That is the only hill that I feel like is actually reasonable to break. But for every other hill on Emporium, you get there first. Like, if you out-rotate and you have, like, a decently adequate team, you can just throw your mag shields down, throw your remedios down, and you're good. You're not breaking any hills. That's where, this is where I really hope that in the ranked format for XDefiant, we see just limiting one ability, because, right now everybody's just stacking mag shield, and that's just, really broken. Or they do, 2 mags, 2 remedios, and that's just, it's just such a disgusting combo. But either way, Emporium, I don't enjoy it as a Occupy or Domination map, because those sites are just miserable to try and break if you don't get there first, and I don't like that. So, like I said, guys, I do have maps that I do not enjoy. Up next, we've got Liberty. Liberty is an S tier map through and through. The P1 is fantastic. The hills do a good job at being breakable, but not terrible. I think the rotations for them works out really well in Occupy. I think it even works really well in Domination. There's enough space. There's a lot of areas that you can move around if you want to try and put a flank on either the A site or the C site in Domination. And overall, I think Liberty is just a great map. I love it. It is S tier. I think I like Arena more, so Arena is going to be higher up on the S tier. But I really like Liberty. Up next, we have Mayday. Mayday is an okay map in my opinion. The hill on the plain is my only gripe with Mayday is kind of like the same thing with Emporium, where on Emporium maps the hills are really hard to break on Occupy, and on Mayday I feel like they're just really easy to break. I feel like there's so many areas that you can go in and break, which in my opinion makes Mayday more interesting than Emporium, because I would rather have a Occupy game that gets broken all the time rather than a a hill that I cannot get in no matter how many, unless I'm using my ultra. Like without using my ultra, I want to be able to feel like I can break a hill without using an ultra. And Emporium doesn't have that, but Mayday does. And so I am going to be putting Mayday in C tier at the moment. This could very easily change. I don't think I've seen Mayday in a ranked rotation yet. I don't honestly know what the current ranked map rotation is. I'm sure it's probably like most of these maps. Either way, not a big deal. We're still like voting for maps, so it's like you don't really feel a rotation, I guess. Up next, we're going into our two. I'm just gonna cover all of the. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on the Occupy domination maps, and then I'll go and do the zone control escort, because I feel like those you have to kind of take with a completely different style. So up next, we're going to have Noodleplex. That's the one I'm going to go up against next, because that's Occupy / domination. So I'm going to move Meltdown and Midway over here, and we will cover those later. Noodleplex is the best map in the entire game. I mean, I don't know how much better to say it. It's so good. There's so, like, the middle of the map is great. The aesthetic is phenomenal. The map is just, it's so good. And I have zero complaints about Noodleplex and anything about it, other than just I suck at the game. And that's really it. I'm a bad gamer, but I'm a good caster. So it's a weird combination. Either way, Noodleplex is definitely the map here. That one is really good, and I will get behind me some Noodleplex all day, every day. Up next, we have Pueblito. Pueblito is a map that I'm always kind of torn back and forth on. I don't think it's necessarily a bad map. I don't think it is a phenomenal map. The P1 is kind of easy to hold. Some of the other points I kind of question. I think specifically it's P2 where you're like way over in the corner and you have literally no cover unless you're running mag shields. And that's just like, that's kind of questionable to me. And then domination. I mean, every time I play Pueblito and I'm getting like absolutely murked, the players know how to spawn camp without flipping, and that is kind of like a little rough. I think that if you die a certain number of times in your spawn, they should flip no matter what. But that's just me. All right, I'm back. I had an emergency phone call. Anyway, moving on. Oh, where were we talking about? We were talking about Pueblito. That's right. Pueblito, overall, pretty good map. P1 is great. Some Ps are whack. B tier. That's what I gotta say about that one. I'm sure y'all will not like me for that. I don't care. Showtime. Showtime is a map that I started enjoying a lot more once I started playing ranked. I didn't enjoy it in pubs, but I do really enjoy it in ranked. I actually, Pueblito, we're gonna put A tier, because Showtime I want to put B tier. I think it's better than Dumbo though. I think that's the route I want to go with. Showtime B tier, Pueblito A tier. Yeah, that makes sense. Showtime, the P1, like the middle of the map is just such a chaos fest that it kind of like almost encourages you to go around the side. But in ranked, it's not as bad because it's 4v4. So I think that'll show up to be actually a really cool map. P1 is weird because I feel like it's a really hard hill to break, but yet it is also yet has so many different areas that you can come at it. So it's weird. I don't know. I tend to kind of get a lot of breaks on it by playing up in the buildings and just using my AR from there. But yeah, that's just me though. All right, up next we are on all of the escort / zone control maps. First off, we have Times Square. Times Square, I hate the first half of the map. I hate the first half of the map. I feel like, especially on escort, I feel like there's a lot of hard areas to play around. Like checkpoint 1 sucks. I love checkpoint 2, and I love checkpoint 3. So like the first third, I don't know why I don't like it. I think it's purely a skill issue. I just feel like there's not a lot of areas where you can really feel safe. Um, but like checkpoint 2 is super fun, having underground and the top area to work with. And then checkpoint 3 is just this really cool mad dash. Checkpoint 3 is definitely very defensive favored. It's kind of the same thing with Midway. And I think Zoo, honestly, as well. I haven't played Meltdown in a long time, so I can't really say for sure. But checkpoint 3 is always very defensive favored, and it's really hard to get the package or to capture that last zone to like clear it out. But either way, I don't really have that many gripes with it. With Times Square, or honestly, really any of these maps, I think I have to go. The only kind of downside that I have with Times Square is Times Square is very dark, and so like aesthetically, it's just kind of blech. It just like it doesn't really like pop. It doesn't really like give anything different than if you were to just make like a COD themed Overwatch escort map. Would just be kind of boring. So I can't really be too excited over it. So I'm gonna put Times Square in low A tier. Honestly, I love all of the escort and zone control maps. They're honestly some of my favorite maps. So I will be praising them a lot. I also want. Okay, so up next we're gonna have Zoo. So my top 2 favorite maps for zone control and escort are Zoo and Midway. I think my personal favorite is Midway. I love Zoo though. They're both super fun. I would put Zoo at a high A tier, and I would put Midway at low S tier. Actually, I think I'd put Midway over Liberty. I love Liberty. Liberty's a great map, but I love Midway. And then Meltdown. Meltdown is probably my least favorite out of the escort / zone control maps. I think it has a lot of really cool spots, but checkpoint 1 is just miserable on the attacking side. There's so many ways to come at it from defense, and I think checkpoint 1 is a little bit too defensive favored for this map. But I mean, overall, I do think it's still a pretty great map. So I'm gonna have to go probably high B. So yeah, that's kind of where I would go with this. So this is a tier list that I have. I know I don't have any D tier maps. If you really want a D tier map, we can put Mayday in D tier. I don't care. But this is the tier list that I'm going with. I think this is definitely a good route to go because I really enjoy. I really enjoy honestly all of the maps at XDefiant. There isn't a map so far that I really don't enjoy. I think my biggest gripe with XDefiant right now is ability balancing, but that is something that'll get fixed as time goes on. So, either way, that is my tier list. I'm gonna pull up like a big picture of it, so that way, if you guys wanna like get mad at me or something, you can do that. I don't care. Boom, there it is. the definitive, not definitive tier list of XDefiant maps. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you are new to my esports channel, make sure you guys subscribe and follow my Twitch. You can see all that information down at the bottom of the screen there as to where my YouTube channel, my Twitch, my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all are there. It will also all be linked in the description below. If you guys would like to further support me, make sure you guys check out my Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi is just basically works like a Patreon. I'm planning on wanting to do like special Ko-Fi supporter game nights and different things like that as we get further on into kind of this new system of content that I'm doing. And also, there should be a link to my Discord down below as well. You can go and hang out there and join in all of the fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. You are loved, you are beautiful, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.